Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is back. She's back, everybody.
Back, baby.
Yep.
I'm back.
We got some cruise stories and some other stories over the weekend we're going to tell on the BDM show. And if you're not a BDM, subscribe at tomanddan.com. Especially now, since we're 2 weeks away from BDM Appreciation Week. We just got our inflatable hot tub.
I haven't even looked at it
No,
yet.
you were going to tell people what we got, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But
I mean, you...
That I carried in by myself.
Hey,
I have an explanation for that.
Oh.
well,
okay.
and I big dollared that. Like, that is not the cheap one, because he wanted me to get a Coleman. I said, no, we're not doing the
we
Coleman.
don't talk about Coleman on
Then
here.
Intex, which is the big dog in the inflatable hot tub
Oh,
game.
yeah, Intex.
No, I went higher than Intex.
What's that?
Wave, brand new company making
don't know that
making
one.
waves. I was going to say that. I'm like, oh, their name is Wave, but they're making waves in the inflatable hot tub game because they include certain things that other hot tubs didn't think of, like a top to keep all the dirt out of it when people are driving by because you have it set out front in your front yard.
Sign up at tomanddan.com, and if you're already a BDM, make sure your address is correct at tomanddan.com.
Yeah, but the thing about that, if you go in and you adjust your address, go in there and adjust all your details, just make sure that you put your credit card number in again in order to, it's like a security deal. They just want to make sure that you're, keeping all of your info in there. Just like any other credit card company, when you activate that screen that pulls up your card number, it's not going to list the number out there for your own protection in case you had it like screen
Right.
mirrored or something like that. So you are going to have to enter that in again, and it's as easy as that.
Yep, and all brought to you by StreamlineFlorida.com. Streamline Mortgage, they helped basically fund this whole BDM Appreciation Week, so we appreciate that. So speaking of the inflatable hot tub, so Sam...
Did it just get here?
It did. It seems like
that's
it.
fast.
Yeah.
That
When
was
did you order it?
last week, Monday early.
Weird that it's either things get here
Feast or famine,
faster
yeah.
than we think, or it takes 6 months because it's out of stock or supply chain. Yeah, it's bizarre. How
And
it
I
works
don't know
though.
how it works because like some things that are still coming
Looks
from
like everything was just chilling in the Bahamas. Let me tell you.
Oh,
there
really?
was so much cargo. in the
Oh,
Bahamas.
really?
Yeah. It's all stuck there, guys.
So Sam's like, oh, there's a big package back here.
Hey now.
Heyo.
And we've been getting a lot of stuff for our project we've been working on and everything. And so we open the door and it's this inflatable hot tub, which is obviously super heavy because it's like a gigantic
It's
inflatable
huge.
raft. It's
What
like
did
a
I get? I forget
square
what I
of
did. I get
rubber.
the 8 piece. Did I get the 8 person or the 10 person? I got a big one. It's big. No, I think it's a 4.
So
It's a 4 person.
So here, okay, so Sam, then I'm standing at the door just looking at it. Sam goes out and
Well,
she's
why
like,
aren't you doing anything?
Well, because Sam
Oh,
just
there's someone at the door.
starts picking it up, and
I did hesitate on one side of the box to see if you were going to meet me on the other side, and you just stood there and stared at me. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, like she did the right thing. You go to one side
an
and assume
explanation.
your role on one side, and then
Right.
the other person sees that cue that you've given as another human, and then they immediately go to the other side. That's the way it works.
But it's not
I've
like
moved a lot of people in my life.
yeah. But this box is, I would say, 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot square.
Okay,
right?
so it's like my body shape.
So it's not really like if it was a longer box, then it would be implied that I'll go pick up one end and Sam.
Oh my God.
Oh, so you're
the
going by length
overthinking
over
that-
the weight.
Sam, this is that same thing that he does where he like tries to convince us.
Oh, he's justifying his actions or
No.
inactions.
He tries to convince us that the reason he didn't do anything is because he did the microtransactions in his brain and they didn't compute. So he's looked at it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can't go into lifting mode because my brain."
Well-
What are you talking about? It's just lifting a box.
Yeah, but it wasn't a 2-person job box.
Hold on.
How do you know that?
Because
It's a 1-person job box.
because
Immediately after I put it on the ground, he goes, I could have helped. And I'm like, well, you didn't.
And then you said it was super heavy and your back hurt.
yeah.
So
And my back already hurts.
somebody was wrong in this scenario. So you're saying it was Sam.
so
Ah.
no. And
This
here's
is my welcome back, huh?
Yeah.
the other reason is because I have a thing where I hesitate to help independent women because I feel like if I jumped in and be like, "Oh, I got this," or "Let me get this for you," that's somehow going to insult Sam. and she's gonna be like, "What do you think? I can't lift it up? Like you need to help a damsel in distress."
When has that ever happened?
Well, that's how I feel
That's
that
on
Sam
you.
thinks.
I don't think that's ever happened.
She's gonna be insulted if I
You could
try
just
to.
offer to help.
Well-
Instead of being like, hey, let me get that for
Yeah,
you. You
like
could be
you-
like, hey, do you need help with that?
Yeah, or you could go like, "Hey, I'll get this side. You get that side."
Yeah.
Like, why not just be a leader and tell her what to do? Why don't you say, "You grab the right side, I'll grab the left side," like a true leader would?
Again, it's a one-person job because the box is so small. It's if you ever try to like hold
and
something
I-
super small with
you and
two
I did
people.
it. You and I
That
did
is
it.
not a super small box. What are you talking about?
He and I carried in a small IKEA box for our, our project
Yeah.
that we're working on, and I could tell that it was bothering Tom that the box could have been carried by either one of us independently, but the fact that we both carried it together, he thought was effeminate and made us look like pansies. Didn't it?
Well,
I could feel that energy coming
Our
off of you, dude.
faces were too close.
Yeah,
like
our
a
faces
kiss.
are. Yeah, we had the close face, and we're holding us like it was a dresser. Now, is it easier with two people? Absolutely.
Right.
Why put yourself out? Why ruin your back? But it could have easily been carried on my shoulder or his shoulder, easily into the house. One person job. But because we were standing too close together, it was as if we were holding hands and skipping through a daisy field.
And
He
again,
hated it.
I didn't want to insult you by just grabbing and be like, "I'll just take this
But you
myself."
wanted to. You wanted to.
Real weak.
And then that's what he wanted to do.
So my wife's like this, where if I jump in and try to do something for her, she takes it as if I'm telling her she can't do it. I can do it because I'm
you guys are
the man.
so complicated.
So I think Sam thinks like that, like because Sam's super independent. I look at Sam.
Yeah, but she's also
like a
reasonable and
dude.
doesn't want to. Oh my god!
No. But no, in
What
this,
is happening?
Just insults.
Yeah,
all
this
day.
guy
Is that
is like,
insulting?
"Welcome back from your cruise, dude."
no.
Hey,
No,
welcome
bro.
back,
No,
bro.
but
Hey, what's up?
I treat you.
You made her do that. You made her do the and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I just treat you like I would treat anybody, and I feel like if I jump in, because you're also super strong, so like that's another thing. Where
In Kanto.
if
In
I'm
Kanto
like,
strong.
I'll
Backpedaling.
In
I'll
Kanto
get
strong.
that for you. Like,
Yeah.
let me get that. Like, you can't lift it. It was like an insult. So I figure I'll
under the
just stand there.
surface. Under the surface.
I thought
Drip, 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 and it never stops.
I thought you'd be insulted if I said I'll pick that up. Because then you would think, well, you think I can't do it? You don't
Dude,
think I'm strong?
you are paralyzed by your overthinking. We need to help you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but there's also a little bit he thinks that everybody is like his wife that's a woman, and that's also not true.
Yeah, but your wife
Yeah,
also
no.
likes it when when I compliment your wife, she's like, "Oh, I like," or if I hold the door for your wife, she's like, "Oh," and she likes it.
But not when Tom does it.
Apparently, because I don't think your wife, if she was doing something, if your wife
It's
was
all-
in there lifting it, and I go, "Oh, let me help you, Crystal," I don't think she's gonna be like, "I'm independent, I'm a bad bitch, get out of here." Like she's not gonna do that.
No, she wouldn't do that. But if it was something, I didn't know how heavy it was. It looked like Sam went and
You're overthinking, bro.
Oh, yeah. I should have just said I got this. And
Step
then-
aside, employee. Let a man handle it. Let a man handle
Well, that's what I
it.
was. My brain.
like,
doesn't-
all right.
Hey, why don't you go try on your lingerie from Levy?
Would you be insulted if I
Hell
said don't?
no. You know how bad my back hurts
Yeah,
right
she
now?
don't want to lift
okay.
anything. She
I've been
just got back
sleeping
from
on those
vacation.
crappy cruise boats, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll keep that in mind, and if anything needs lifting, or if we need to fight off any intruders,
We have an
I'm the
intruder.
man
Guy
for
just
that.
walked
Yeah,
right
you
in.
just let him in.
Yeah, we just let an intruder walk right in. He's in there drinking White Claw on our couch. Wait, on our lack of couch. We don't have a couch in our
That's
studio
right.
anymore.
Well, okay, let's talk about that, because speaking of overthinking, I have a mental disorder where I'll overthink things that
We
don't
know.
matter, and then severely underthink
Underthink, yeah.
things that actually matter,
Yeah.
which is the worst quality to have ever, because I don't have our studio couch now because I couldn't bring it from Miami because we drove the wrong car and
Yeah.
it wouldn't fit in the back of Crystal's
Why did you guys
Traverse.
drive your sports car? They drove a Lambo down there. Like Crystal's got her boobs out.
No, okay, so I was gonna go on this. I was gonna go on the BDM show, but I will tell you.
Well,
that-
wait, just do it on the BDM show.
No, because
gotta
this is
sign
natural.
up.
It's not even a good story. Anyway,
Wow.
I did the Ocoee firefighter golf tournament.
Oh,
that
I
do
know what
every
that
year, right?
means.
And
That looked like a good time.
it was a good time. Everybody's super nice out there.
I saw you out there signing cakesters.
Base camp
Yeah, they
is
got
great.
you good.
Yeah, they got you good.
So, I know they're bullying me. That's Corey.
Did you play with Juan?
Yeah, I played with
How many
Juan.
shots did you take?
We took an incredible amount of shots.
An
Looked like
incredible.
people were feeling loose
I've
out
never
there.
heard that before. That's awesome. An incredible amount of shots.
Juan, Tommy Gilligan, and Andrew.
That's a party team.
The BDM that all super nice. I contend I had too nice of a team,
Yeah.
and I'll explain on the BDM show. But anyway, we had to go down to my niece's birthday party in Miami. So then Crystal's like, "Don't drive over to the Koei golf tournament. Just Uber over there, and then I'll pick you up on the way down because it's
Did
south.
you
It's
have
like
to
Lake
Uber
Nona.
with your clubs?
Yes.
Yes. Awkward.
Although,
Oh, man.
in a weird twist of fate, the Uber driver that I had, or actually a Lyft
it was
driver,
Tiger Woods.
No, but he was a golf caddy.
No way.
What's the chance?
That's awesome.
I mean,
Like a real caddy.
Or
That's
was
a
he
hard,
messing with
that's
you?
a hard ass
yeah,
job.
yeah. It's primarily, I'm not stereotyping, but primarily people who don't speak English right now in this current state of Uber and Lyft.
I thought you
and
were
stuff.
talking about caddies.
Well, there's a shortage of drivers. Like gas is too expensive
Yeah.
and whatever. Like, but
I've seen the memes.
Anyway, it was this old dude that used to be a golf caddy, which he ran over. He saw my golf clubs, ran over, picked them up, put them in the trunk, and
He's probably
wow.
you made his day.
He was a
probably
golf
He
caddy.
was
so
looking for a
excited.
big tip.
Yeah, he was probably so excited
and then
that he got you.
he talked golf and his whole how he became a golf caddy, and then he does this like he was an older guy. So
Oh my
doesn't
God,
play
you
anymore.
Weird Job Wednesday now?
Oh,
On your
the whole
ride?
way.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, so
I bet he has a couch.
so Crystal said, "I'll just pick you up from there."
I like
and
this.
then
You guys
go down."
planned.
And
Well, she
you
just
say
didn't want
that.
him driving drunk to Miami. He's like, I'll follow you in my car. Oh man, it'd be bad.
So of course, I tell her, I'm like, it looks like rain is probably going to get rained out, so we'll probably end a little earlier than normal.
That's not how it works.
Well, I asked, I was like, what happens if it rains out? And then they're like, well, we just end early, because it's not a serious tournament. It's
a charity tournament,
It's all
yeah.
for charity.
That's for the kiddos.
People get drunk, and then you spend some money for base camp, and that's it, and you have a fun day. So I expected to end a little early, but I was like, we should end around 12:30 or whatever. Because it takes about 4 hours.
Yeah.
But there's so many people in the tournament, and there's all these like in charity golf tournaments, like every third hole has some sort of
Like a thing.
insulation. Yeah. Where you hit into the hula hoops, you're shooting the air cannon.
Okay.
Little
Pay and it's-
hijinks on the holes.
and then if you hit this like statistically unlikely
Like
thing,
Mario Party.
then you get like a free like a watch or like a free driver
Yeah.
or something. And
They have the insurance contest.
it's there's one that was a free car you could win,
Wow.
but it's all to raise more money for base camp.
you
It's
throw $10 in there, you get a couple
Yeah.
hits.
Anyway, so we were running a little late, and so Crystal was like, "Where are you?" And I had like 4 holes left, and I'm like,
Almost
We're-
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
I'll be done in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Like you always give an unattainable
I think
ending time.
I figured it out. It's the bad at life disease. You wanting to delay consequences.
Wait, so you know she's going to be mad, but if you could just keep pushing her off.
Yes. It's
Interesting.
It's a bad at life trait of delaying.
Yeah, but she's getting
consequences.
more mad. That's the thing you never take into account. You say you do all the math.
Well, I said bad at life, didn't I?
I know, but you also say
it's the wrong thing to do.
say you do the calculations, and I would think somewhere in there you would see that there
I
is.
think we've learned he's not a mathematician.
But there is an amplification. There is a multiplier of anger in there that I have witnessed because. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's one phone call. Where are you? You say 4 holes. I'll be there in 30 seconds, which we know is unattainable.
Right.
Then there's a second phone call back to say, where are you? Where you're having to explain what part of the golf course you're at because she's driving around in circles in the parking lot. Then there's the I'm waiting. You got caught up. You're still talking to Corey Bryant. You're not walking. She's been waiting for 20 minutes. Scrolling. Where are you? You're texting.
Yeah.
They're squirt gunning White Claw in your mouth.
Yeah, what level of texting where we're at? 4th text, 5th text, 6th text? Where were we at?
Are you ignoring it at this point?
By the way, Juan doesn't have this because Juan promised his wife that he would help her with something, and then literally on the whole number 17 or like 16, Juan's like, my wife called, gotta go.
I like that.
God damn.
That's what you do.
Like,
no, that is what he knows.
He is.
Because he's a genius.
He's not going to get yelled at. He just, and then.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you go, Crystal's here, I must leave. I did good for charity. Bye-bye. Why don't you do the one?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's a great answer. Hold on. Mark this for the for the award
What am I
ceremony.
writing down?
I don't know, but that's an award because that's never
There's
happened
no
before
excuse.
where he said there's no excuse. This has not happened
Because
before.
Tommy Gilligan's so nice, and Andrew, the other guy I was playing with, so nice.
You bet your ass if Tommy's wife called him, he'd be going too.
You just drop an extra 20 in there and hit the bricks, dude.
They didn't care, and they knew I was driving down to Miami, so they're like, "Hey, if you gotta go,
Oh,
whatever."
they gave you an out and you didn't take it?
And then I was like, "No, I'm gonna hang
No,
out."
I'm
You
cool,
want another
bro.
shot?
I'm cool, bro.
One thing about Tom Biden is I stay to the last award is given every time.
And Crystal literally waiting in the parking lot with the
I know
boys.
it. Oh, I know it. Yeah.
And they told me, like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
they've been on
you
their
gotta go?"
iPad for 2
I
hours.
was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm
You
good."
walk out there,
Like,
bring them some meatballs, bring some shots to the boys. I got meatballs from the party line.
Meanwhile, every second that we're sitting there waiting, I'm watching the putt. I'm like, go. I'm like, she's mad. She was mad.
But you would rather let her get more mad in
Oh.
order to fulfill your duty. You think, okay, hold on. Is this right? You think that the golf tournament, the obligation that you hung on your reputation.
I don't want to disappoint Tommy and Andrew, even though they don't care. They told me they don't care.
But you will continue to disappoint Crystal, your wife, because you realize that she's with you for good. And
Yeah. Even though Tommy Gilligan's with us for good too.
I don't know.
I've used it.
Yeah, you know what? You say that. You say that.
He did just say in the chat, made me drive him back to his car. What is that?
Again? Were you drunk again? Oh, no. Part 2 where he had to drive a mini version
Hold
of
on,
driving.
who's in the chat?
Tommy.
This is where you realiage you've lied to us, right? You're
Wow.
like, oh, he's in there. They know the jig is up. Is that where you pull the gun out? You blow your head off on the show.
We got back to
Juan made him drive back to his car.
Oh, yeah. Tommy drove Juan back so that Juan
dude, you already had the Band-Aid off. Juan already did the heroes leaving, right? Like, he already did the thing that's hard. He ripped the Band-Aid off.
But as soon as he did that, I started talking mad ass to Andrew, like, "Oh, someone's got
old
balls
ball
in
and
his
Holy
mouth."
shit.
right. I bet this guy's got a group Facebook with his wife. Am I right? Pussy!
Even though I was
Meanwhile, your blood pressure's going up because you know Crystal's going to be mad.
you're
I was
lying.
like, "Can you drive me back to?" That's what I wanted.
Please drive me back.
Right.
But I have to tell
She's
him.
in the parking lot with the boys. They're on their Kindles.
And so anyway, after we got back and everything, and then of course,
How's Crystal's mood?
well, I mean,
Not happy.
she's waiting, and I told it's about 35 minutes or whatever she waited in the parking lot.
Yikes.
But I told her immediately. I made up a lie and told
I
her
was
that,
in there talking to a cancer kid. These cancer kids are wordy.
Oh
They know a lot of
God.
words. There's a cancer this and cancer that.
You could
I
just
don't-
be honest, Tom, and this
Yeah.
would solve a
Blah,
lot of
blah,
your problems.
Blah, blah, blah,
I-
tumor, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. They wouldn't stop. I was trying to rush them on.
I led with how much money we raised
Right,
and how
right.
much how
It's for the
so good.
kids, yeah.
And did you do
how
one of these where
happy
you're like,
my
this is
team
the
was?
best part of my job? Talking with Daniel is fun, but when we do these, it makes me remember why I really do this.
And so I get in the car, and then we start driving, and then halfway down to Miami, we did think for 1 minute, we're like, I look back and I'm
Where
like,
are the boys?
they're there.
They're playing golf on a mini
They're back in the house setting off the alarm again.
They're eating meatballs at the golf tournament.
They're firefighters now. They're Koei firefighters now.
They would raise them as their own, right? The
Yeah.
Akoi, they're good guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They raise them as their own. Tough, Tommy and Max.
And then I look back and I'm like, is the couch going to fit in here? And then Chris like, yeah, they flat pack everything. It's flat packed. And I'm like,
Yeah, but
oh,
it's not an inflatable couch.
I know. That's
Yeah,
how
it's not
stupid-
this goddamn hot tub.
That's how stupid we are. Because I was like, oh, yeah, flat pack. And then we get to Turkey Leg's house because we're sleeping over there for the night. And then he comes out. He's like, "Where's the truck, you idiots? This thing is gigantic."
Came out yelling. Did he already drag it out? Oh, he's ready to put it. He's ready to get rid of it.
It is. I mean, it's huge. And he's like, "This thing barely fit in my truck." And then
He's a
he's like, "What are you gonna
full-size
put it on
Ram.
top of your car?"
So now he's got to store our
No,
couch.
yeah.
He's got a full-size extended cab F-150, right? Like the big boy. You
Yeah.
got a big truck.
And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess you're right. It won't fit in the back of Crystal's Chevy Traverse." and then I was like, "Do we stuff it in there and then let it hang halfway out with the tailgate
in the
or
Hurricane? You drive through the Hurricane like that.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't do any of that, and now it's still a turkey leg salad.
Okay.
So
We'll
we
just
gotta-
have him keep it.
We got a couple
Put
more.
it together and use it.
I'm coming up with a plan to get it here. Don't you worry.
Why don't we have Joey Mazzant?
Go run down and
yeah,
get it?
let's get some of the friends we know to go and get it.
So gas prices. Have you seen the gas prices?
Yeah, I know. I've seen some memes about the gas
Yeah,
prices.
yeah.
I've heard it's bad. Something's going on with the gas.
Yeah, it's gas
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't even look it. I just fill it up, and when it stops, I don't even look.
By the way, in a panic, we did try to look at one-way rentals. Like maybe we could rent a truck from Miami and then just drop it off at
Right.
it's like one-way.
But a mini truck.
And same day, one-way car rental, like one day from Miami to Orlando, $1,000.
That's also because all the flights were getting canceled
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So everybody was trying to get the hell out of Miami.
They knew what they had.
no rental or whatever, $1,000.
Oh,
So, you know.
chat room is
crazy.
a couple people that have done one-way rentals chiming in saying, don't do that, never do it again. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
like literally anti-one-way rentals.
Yeah. So we'll have to just, go without a couch at the studio for a couple
I
more
remember
months.
I rented a car when I was younger to take a road trip with a girlfriend I had because I didn't want to put the gas. This is when you don't understand anything. Like you don't understand rules. You don't you're young and you're dumb and you got a job and you make a decent amount of money because this is when, and I don't know if this is the same way now, but you had to be 23 in order
I
to
thought
rent
it was 25.
Yeah, well, when I was doing it, I think it was like you had to be 23 to rent a car.
Yeah.
So I had rented this car, and we were going to take this road trip with this girlfriend and I up to upstate New York. But with the way I'd rented it, I didn't realize that they had a way to track the car to see where you go. And the way that I had rented it was only for Florida,
Okay.
apparently, with this particular rental company. And I drove it all the way up to upstate and all the way back. And then when I turned everything in, tank of gas, the whole nine, they basically just unloaded on me like it went here, there's this miles.
Aw.
Man, I got F. It was like, I want to say $500 extra charges piled on top for me doing things that I should not have done
Okay,
with
yeah.
said rental car. You know what I mean? Like not things like deliberately trying to ruin it
Right.
or, you know,
Yeah.
I've seen friends that do that, donuts in the car and you're like
drive
eating
with
at
the
it.
parking brake on.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was literally like, yep, you shouldn't have done all this and here's all the contractually what you were doing wrong and here's where we get our money. It's nuts.
There's a crazy shortage. I read some article about rental car shortage. It all plays into there's so many rental cars that are out because people can't get the parts to fix cars. So
Yeah.
dealerships are going to have loaning out rental cars. Man, I talked to someone. God, who did I talk to the other? They had and my buddy Francis. He got in a car accident and he has had a rental car for 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months he's had the dealer rental car or whatever, and because they can't get the parts to fix his car or whatever. So there's so many rental cars out there being used. Plus, the pandemic,
Even the
chip shortage or whatever.
Here's
it's hard to
something
find
that's
one.
going on with mine. I got rear-ended, remember? And I haven't talked much about it because it was minimal damage. It was like a really slow hit. In a weird way, it was almost worse because it cracked the bumper. It's like if you'd hit me fast, I think this thing would have worked better. But they hit it slow and then it cracked the bumper, so they ordered the parts. It's all repaired. The problem is that I need the specialist that knows all those sensors because there's so many sensors
Yeah.
on this car. My car's been sitting, and me and Andrew are laughing because it hasn't been doing anything because I guess there's one dude that knows, if you have a job that's a specialty job, I mean, you're pretty much golden right now, right? Because, it's not, you're not going anywhere. This
Yeah.
guy's coveted, the sensor man. So I got to wait for the sensor man to come realign all of my sensors and then my car will be done. But it's been fixed for a while. It's been fixed for a week.
Yeah.
They're just waiting on the guy to check it. And it's like, he's the one guy.
That sucks.
Damn it.
A lot of those things have been happening. So anyway, we'll have the couch soon. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Joey Mazzant is here.
Yes.
We're going to talk some Parks and Parlays.
Parks and parlays.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time, our good friend Parks and Parlays with Joey Mazzant. Joey is here. What's up, Joey?
It is so great to be back, guys. Thanks for having me in the studio today.
Good to see you, man.
So, Joey, tell us what's going on with the parks. We're, heading into springtime. What's the next big event or like theme that the parks have to offer?
The big thing that we're all looking for, I mean, I know that we're gearing up for it, but everybody's excited about Halloween Horror Nights, and I'll be talking about that more as we get closer to it.
Yeah.
At Disney, everybody's talking about Food and Wine Festival. Not as much as they used to, because basically every festival is Food and Wine Festival now.
Yeah, and can I pause you right there, because I saved this for Parks and Parlays over the weekend. Over the weekend, because I signed up for all of these like email blasts from like the Smoky Mountains, in Georgia and the Carolinas and stuff like that, because we were just up in that area. I got this alert from Dollywood. They are now doing their copy of the Food and Wine Festival. It's called Art and Food Festival or something, Music and Food. But it's Dollywood, and it's the same thing. It's the little kiosks, and you go around, and you get the little Southwest egg roll, and you listen to the bluegrass band. But, like, you're right. Everybody's kind of rolled that out, and that's Disney's basically their baby, right? They are the...
to the point now where we've made the joke that somebody's going to create a meme out of it, but it's like, oh, are you going to go to the Flower and Garden Festival? Oh, you mean Food and Wine sponsored by HGTV?
Right.
They're like, oh, are you going to go to the Sounds Like Summer? Oh, you mean Food and Wine Festival with Bon Jovi Tribute Band? Like, it's every festival is food and wine now because Disney figured out what people want. They just want to get day drunk.
Then I saw Universal start to do it. Then I saw SeaWorld start to do it. Now I'm seeing Dollywood start to do it. I've seen cities do it where they go, well, we can just do this with all of our restaurants.
Downtown Orlando will do it. Too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is a very, very smart thing to do, but I haven't found anybody that does it quite on the level of Disney. They just know how to do it.
The only thing that they're missing now, and I'm just going to keep trying, I'm thinking that COVID, the term is going to be extinct within the next year or two. I think we're going to finally be behind it. And the big one is one of the things I talk about is starting April 18th, this month, this year, we are finally, you can meet characters again.
Really?
Oh, that's big news.
But you can finally actually meet characters. It's none of this, oh, my niece is dressed like Princess Jasmine, and oh my gosh, there's Princess Jasmine right there. No, don't go close to her. You can wave at her from a distance.
Yeah.
The kids can run up. They can hug their favorite characters again.
Wow.
It only took 4 freaking years, but we're finally, back.
That actually, it's funny is that I think a lot of people discount that or maybe think, oh, that's not a big deal. I do think that one is a big deal, especially for littles. For kiddos, getting in there and actually being able to walk up to that particular princess or prince or, a character that Mickey Mouse, for God's sake,
Well, that was the odd thing to me because the characters that are in the suits, by the way, to me, that offers a prime opportunity to get close during COVID, even
it'd be too much confusion though, because some characters aren't in costume.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a face
I
covering.
guess that's the problem. They
Correct.
can't do some and not the others.
Right.
But the characters in the suits, I was like, well, you're wearing a head, which offers some protection.
Right.
Then underneath that, you could be wearing a, the whole.
Oh, they're not wearing nothing underneath that. They're already sweating, dying.
No,
Under that.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, if you wanted to do it, that offers the most amount of safety.
It does.
The head, a mask underneath the mask, and it's like, you could touch the kids. They're not going to give you.
But they
COVID.
blanketed it. It's like
Yeah,
one of those
exactly,
things where they're just like, we can't pick and choose this. We can't have the kids that like the princesses can't see the princesses, but
Right,
hey,
to see
you can go
Goofy
see
and
Duffy
Mickey Mouse,
Bear.
yeah.
He's right there. Go hug him. We don't care. Yeah.
So they're opening that back up again. And what is the mask policy even at the
Nothing.
parks right now?
Wild
Nothing?
West again. No
Okay, it's
masks.
Wild West again.
I think just like a couple weeks ago they lifted it from the inside, right? Because it
Correct.
used to be like if you went in like a shop or a restaurant, you would have to have it on.
It was obnoxious when you would walk up to like Tony's and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go have a Caesar salad, and at the door they go, sir, put your mask on. And then you walk up to the counter, excuse me, and they would say, all right, how many? And I'm like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sir, I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. And you take your mask on and tell them, sir, put your mask on. I'm like, bro, you're killing me.
We
Smalls.
did that at Epcot. You're going into Tutu Gusto. You're going into like an air. Yeah, and it was just weird.
So when is Food and Wine Fest? Even though, like we already mentioned, like basically all their events are Food and Wine Fest. It's
Well,
the same
Flower
thing.
and Garden Fest is going on right now.
Yeah.
And then Food and Wine comes in July.
Yeah.
And then it just like basically rolls almost till the
Yeah.
end of the year.
Well, and Disney is genius. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
I'm saying
good.
What Disney has done is the 50th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom ends as the 40th anniversary of Epcot begins which ends as the 20 or 35-year anniversary of Hollywood. Disney has their PR and marketing set for the next like five or 6 years. It's brilliant.
Gotcha. Yeah, and because they are constantly rolling out new events and they just brand events, essentially doing the same thing. It's like these vendors are out there, let's just leave them out there and then brand these different events around the business model, which is get people to pay a ridiculous amount for entry and then a ridiculous amount for food and drink in all these different places, and they'll pay it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you're there. I mean, like you're like you're captive, right? I mean that in a positive way.
Of course.
And the things that they offer typically are like, especially at Disney, I will say the variations of different, maybe like a flight of beer. It's all stuff I'm gonna like. The food's usually pretty damn good. It's not enough of it, but it's good.
And there's a reason we've talked about this before, Sam. There's a reason there's a 45-minute wait for cheeseburger spring rolls.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. 45 minutes for cheeseburger spring rolls. They open the kiosk at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like waiting for tickets for the Rolling Stones' last concert. You have to get there at 9.
Because also once they're out.
They're
So
out.
everybody's trying to get them all the
people
time.
freak out and
And they're not that good, but I wait. I eat 6 of them.
Right.
They got me.
I've seen the people doing it.
I've
seen the people. I've seen the people when Andrea, the last time we were there, I was able to witness something I didn't even believe was real. And it was people walking in and buying like 5 of these limited edition popcorn buckets and walking straight out with them. And I'm like, I didn't think that happened. I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and hundreds of people doing it.
Yep.
So Joey, let's walk through. So say you're planning on going to one of these food and wine fests, right? And so what would be if I was going with you, Joey? What would be a way that you would
host you?
Yeah, host me, and then the tips and tricks for a day at Food and Wine.
Best practices,
even starting with parking, and then which way you go around
Good call.
Epcot.
Yeah,
Because
let's go through it.
I've been to Food and Wine multiple times, and then
your wife likes it. I know my wife used to celebrate her birthday doing it because it used to always kind of hit in that October area, and then she'd want to go out there and just kind of walk around and eat.
But when I was there, I remember everybody in our group was like, "Oh, let's go the opposite way because everybody goes this way, and if you go the opposite way, basically
do
you'll
you
say
start in Canada or do
Yeah.
you start in Mexico?
Yeah, exactly. So
The opposite way theory is garbage because all you're doing is eating the trash food first, and by the time you get to the good food, now the line's 4 hours long.
gotcha. Okay.
You just need to be ahead of the people that are ahead of the people. So if I was taking you and your wife, and you guys just wanted to do a date night for fun, you got a sitter for the boys, and it was you and your wife, and you just wanted to have a little bit of fun. What we would do is I would make us a BS reservation for dining at breakfast at one of the hotels so we could park at the hotel. That way we could weasel in the back way to Epcot so we're already at the World Showcase. We would make a right. I would stick you guys on Remy's Ratatouille Racer because that's the longest thing in the park right now. You'd love it. As you're getting off the ride, I would already have a glass of Prosecco for your wife and probably a Kronenberg for you. You seem like more of a beer guy than a wine guy. You're a man's man. I get you, bro. And so you guys would have round
Where's
one.
the spoon, Dr. Ball? Yeah, all right.
And then after that, we would just start the World Showcase crawl. I would take you to each country, and I would say, fun fact, this is here because Walt Disney wanted this. By the way, we're next to the Rose and Crown Pub. I'm going to get you a Black Velvet. I'm going to get your wife a Cosmo. Continuing on. And that was what we would do. We would drink at each country. I'd give you a couple of fun facts. We'd stick you on a couple of rides. It'd be a good day.
Do you start at any particular country first? Do you skip one and go back to? In your experience, what advice would you put out there?
You got to go to Mexico first. I feel like everybody knows it, and even though it's if everybody knows it, we should know. Unfortunately, it is a necessary evil. If you're going to get your avocado margarita, you go to Mexico first. Everybody knows it, but everybody's right because that is the longest line. From there, continue through. That gets the longest line. You're going to get a bit of a line at the Rose and Crown in England. That one's a little bit busy. And in Germany, because they got those pretzels that are size of a small child, everybody gets a Schafferhofer and a pretzel. There are certain standards that you have to, like going to Magic Kingdom. If you didn't get a Dole Whip and a churro, did you even do the Magic Kingdom?
Right.
So sometimes you got to check those boxes.
Joey, as we get into summertime, it gets hot. unbelievably hot, right? Yeah. And and this
And
would
you're
be
just
pure
standing in a parking lot.
it'd be pure misery to me if I could go in like in July and the heat with the parks or whatever. But I would imagine that the
You got the wind whipping off that man-made lake. Hot.
but it does keep people away, and they probably think like I do. It's like if you think something, guess what? Everybody else is thinking it too, most likely. And is there any advantage to, like, I imagine people get to the parks early. Everybody kind of at least knows that, especially if you're on vacation. And then they leave. I've always heard they leave in the afternoon to go back to their hotel pools or whatever because it's too hot. Is there any, like I guess
I've heard that too,
park
but you know
theory-
what? I have never witnessed that.
Like, hey,
Every
go
family, he's onto something.
So go to the most busy places at like 4 in the afternoon when it's the
Okay.
hottest because that's when everybody's
I
gone
like your
already.
logic on
like,
this,
is
yeah.
there any like truth in that like strategy?
The problem is in the summer, it's miserable. I mean, I have people listening in the UK right now.
Sure,
Gemma and her friends are listening in the UK, and they can't fathom it when I try to tell them, like, in the summer it's 108 degrees.
Yeah, people
And they're
don't
like,
understand
"Nuh-uh."
that.
And I'm like, it's a Florida 108. Paper burns at 144 degrees. Okay, just a heads up, we're almost there. You could be walking around the park and you're holding a map and the GD thing spontaneously combusts. It's hell.
Yeah.
So
especially here in Central Florida, there's no breeze. It's
There
like
is not.
when it's the dead
It's
heat.
still-
End of July, August is like it'll and so, even before that, sometimes you get those dead zones where like fronts.
I like where it rains a little bit just to make it sticky.
Yeah, the rain though will cool it down. Like I'd rather have a little rain than just blazing dry ass. No
But I get
wind
monkey
heat.
butt then because then everything inside my shorts starts to
Moist.
get moist. Yeah.
and I'm wearing a dry fit shirt, so
Yeah.
the sweat goes
And I don't
nowhere.
like dry fit shirts because they accentuate my nipples.
Yes, yeah.
I like cotton because it smooths out my areolas. Like a dry fit, the problem with our dry fit shirts we've had is that just my nipples are always like, it's just not
Oh,
right.
yeah, no, listen, it happens to me. And all the shirts I wear or whatever, like any sort of brushing my nipples with
Yeah.
any shirt makes
Your
them...
nipples are always erect.
If I
don't know what that is.
Also,
What is that?
He's also always erect.
Come on.
Is it the cloth?
I'm telling you, whatever.
If I wore nylon more, would I get used to it and eventually desensitize? It's like wearing silk boxers when I was a teen.
You got to wear the nipple tape.
My mom bought me silk boxers. The first time I put on silk boxers, like, I can't wear these out. I was like, this is absolutely unacceptable. I can't wear this. There's too much going on in here.
Right?
Yeah. I was like, this feels amazing. This is the best underpants I've ever had.
Just sitting in high school. And
Yeah.
you have to put it
I was
between
like,
the
these
belt
are
strap,
wonderful.
'cause
They
you're
were
like, why is it
Snoopy.
there?
They were Snoopy. The only problem with silk boxers, and you'll know this, is after your mom washes them enough times, silk is such it's such a non-durable fabric that it would rip around the waistline. They would just eventually just rip straight down. Silk boxers, no matter what.
Joey, is there any strategy in going to the parks like right before the kids get out of school? Because I can imagine that a lot of people wait to the beginning of summer, especially out-of-towners, to like start their family vacations or whatever. So I feel like right before school lets out, maybe like a less popular time in the parks, less busy.
We always say this. We've talked about. I still remember you and I talking about this the very first time I came into the studio, and I only remember because it was on my birthday. It was so cool.
Yeah.
We talked about this. Be a bad parent. Just be a bad parent. Pull your kid out of school at the most inconvenient time. September, they have the same friends they've had their whole life. They're not missing anything. Teachers don't do anything the first 5 days. Pull them out of school. If it's right before Christmas, pull them out of school. If it's right after Christmas, pull them out of school. Because if you have off, everybody has off.
So that is going to be... Oh, man, I got...
Everybody's caught. Hold on, I'll help.
Yeah.
Everybody, sorry. If everybody does it, they'll not notice.
Allergy season, you're good.
Yeah, so I thought I had COVID. I did a test this morning. I was like, I think I got the COVID.
You're still doing that?
Yeah. No. I did it this morning because I straight up had a fever. And I had a fever this morning. I was coughing. I couldn't taste anything. But it's just allergies.
I tried so hard to get COVID. All my buddies who got COVID lost like 8 pounds. They look amazing. I tried so hard to get COVID.
I didn't lose weight in COVID. I got fatter during
I just read some article. They still can't figure out why some people never got it. Or
Dude, I tried everything.
I read
like
that article
naturally
too. You got to
immune
the
to
end
it?
of the article and they're like, we don't know. I'm like, well, why'd you have me read this?
I just read the title. I didn't read
Spoiler alert, they don't know.
I read the title and then I just assumed everything in it.
Yeah.
Like everybody else. So, now water parks. I want to talk to you about water
Yes.
parks.
Love 'em.
It's
Volcano
about to be
Bay.
water park season. Your opinion? What's the best water park?
Volcano Bay, hands down. Universal did something next level right. Their water. Disney's awesome. Disney's awesome if you have kids.
I've never been to Volcano Bay.
Dude,
Me
it's so
either
good.
yet.
Volcano
You want
Bay.
to go?
Yeah.
All right,
I can get you guys in. Let me know.
Oh, hey, all right, hey, that helps. That
We'll get a
definitely-
cabana. I can get us a deal on a cabana. They bring you snacky
right.
snacks. You post up. This thing is huge. They bring you all the junk food. You
No
could
Tom,
want.
or are we bringing
Tom's
Tom?
coming.
You coming?
Are you kidding me? He's the coolest.
Tom
He
hates
hates
fun.
He hates water parks.
But I feel like his boys would like fun.
Yeah, but
I like it with my sons. I like going with them, having fun with them.
I
but
want the
wouldn't
photo
know.
of you in the wave pool holding your boys, and they're all
Yeah.
smiling, and the wave hits
Wait.
you, and you're
Not a
like,
big fan of the wave pool.
You're gonna bring this guy. He's already telling us the stuff he dislikes.
you can sit in the
Hasn't even
cabana
been
and
there.
check emails.
Hasn't even been there, and he's like, I don't like the wave pool. I don't like concrete. I don't like water.
I'm just looking at the sea of humanity, just imagining how
Pee-pee wave.
they've been eating very poorly this entire week, and they're drunk, and
Yeah.
then just so much doo-doo in there. Anyway, here's why Volcano Bay, their marketing, it's okay by putting it right off the I-4, right?
It's genius.
You think it's genius because you see it
Yeah.
and you're reminded, like, oh, it's right there. I need to go. To me, though,
I find it tacky.
No. Seeing the people wait in line
Makes me not want to
it
go.
makes
Yeah,
me not-
yeah.
But Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, they're hidden
They're
behind.
tucked away. Yeah,
So
you don't see anything.
So in my mind, I'm like, what if there's no one there today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
And
that's how
sometimes
dumb
there
I am.
isn't. No, sometimes I have been
Not anymore.
I have been there. No, if you get there early, you
Yeah.
can get a solid hour in where nobody's doing nothing, and you can ride everything. And then that way, you've already done everything. Like we like to get there early. We get when they open up at what's it called?
Typhoon
Blizzard
Lagoon?
Beach.
Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh.
Or Blizzard Beach is the one that Maisie likes the most.
All right, I got to.
We go to Blizzard Beach, we hit everything, the zip line, everything before everybody gets in there, and then we've already got our, like, not a cabana, but if you get in there early, you can get a shaded spot. And we got all of that. If you can get there super early when they first open up, plus they don't look in your cooler as well. Because they assume that you're not drinking.
My only beef with Blizzard Beach. Oh, goodness,
Oh my
excuse me, that was
God!
rude. I'm
Yes,
so
that
sorry.
was absolutely disgusting. So sorry. This is what I think of
The hell have I
Blizzard
come
Beach.
back to?
I'm so sorry. Is it?
Stop puking on the floor.
Get up!
They painted the whole thing in white semi-gloss,
Yeah.
so the minute the sun hits it, you're blind.
Yeah, it is.
That's the only
it
thing I
is.
don't like about it. Everything else is cool.
And also, their concrete, I don't care how much water they put on their concrete, it's like walking on the surface of the sun. They spray little water, these little hoses that are perfectly timed. They got a guy that goes around there and pokes holes in tiny black hoses like it's a watering hose, and it sprays onto the concrete. You walk on that, it will literally melt your feet off. Hurts so bad.
Yeah, it's like walking on a sandy beach with no flip flops.
Yeah,
You're just getting
it's
crushed.
terrible.
Also, with water parks, inevitably you have to not only stand in line but also walk up a fleet
the
of
stairs.
stairs.
Oh, it's the
I don't
worst.
mind the stairs. Here's where things get weird. When I'm standing in line, and in front of me is a 15-year-old Brazilian girl who's literally wearing the tiniest eye patch bikini, just standing there, and I'm like, this is just weird.
Yeah.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything other than it's just weird.
Yeah. It is weird standing with your shirt off. And plus, I like tiny Duke swim shorts.
Me
I'm
too.
standing there with my
So
shirt
your
off.
boys are coming out the
Yeah.
bottom.
No, they're not coming out, but they're there.
Oh, they're close. I mean, they're not coming out.
And I'm holding 3 tubes because my boys are too weak to hold their own tubes. And then I'm walking up 5 flights of stairs to the
Yeah.
top of this slide or whatever, standing in line with a bunch of wet teens, which is odd. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it's odd.
It is odd.
and it's like it's off-putting.
I
and
don't
it's
want to
like,
be there. They don't want to be there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is odd.
It's like, where are your parents? They're in Brazil. It's like, why are they not here? Why are you
Exactly.
here? And, yeah.
And don't adjust yourself. Just leave everything where it is. Don't just everybody's eyes up until we get in the rafts.
Yeah. And then when I'm floating again in the wave pool, there's some morbidly obese Italian dad from New York that
That's my dad.
that I know. I'm like, oh, you for sure have mud butt. Like It's 100%.
Oh, and then he gets
100%. You came into this
Can we stop
pool
this
of water.
move?
I'm sitting in it with mud butt.
Can we stop this move where big Italian dad gets in the wave pool and goes, oh, dude, feels so good. Yeah, on your mud butt? I know that move. I know that move. You're cooling off your mud butt, sir.
You're stressed out. You're eating horribly. Anyway.
When my dad comes to he's like, hey, I think I want to go to Volcano Bay. And I'm like, I'm not going to a water park with you, Dad. He's like, no, it looks like fun. I'm like, no, because I know what you're going to do. At least 45 times you're going to tell the same joke to some chick in a bikini, and you're going to offer every girl with a name tag that has any form of ethnicity that you find cute. You know, you'd make my next ex-wife. You'd make an ex. He's one of those tags.
He's one of those guys.
I can't. I won't say it. Oh, hey, what you got? I can't. Oh,
I like you got a little Italian there. You're like,
sorry.
hey, Dad, I won't do water park with you.
I told him, like, we're not going to the water park. We go to the casino. We can go to the casino. I don't care who you hit on there. The only few people know me, but we can't go to a water park because I'm a regular there. I don't. Oh God.
All right, Joe, you got any parlays for us today? What
I
do you
do,
got
good
here?
sir.
Yeah, I know they just released NFL season win totals. I checked all my offshore books that I play with, and they haven't come out with it yet. But they're and of course they didn't release the Cleveland Browns because they're waiting to see what happens with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So my dumbass theory of they're going to release.
Yeah,
of
we
course
don't
they
know
know
yet. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
I might be flying out to Vegas in either June or July. I'll let you know. I think I'm going to throw, like last year, with our little joke where I put all that money on the Steelers to win before the season
You gonna
even
do another
started.
one?
But I think I'm going to throw $100 on them because it looks like 45-1.
Oh, wow.
So if I throw $100 on the Steelers because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be
Right.
yet, but it's looking real good, and if I can get in before the money line changes, bro, I'm telling you, I'm dying to do Tom and Dan go to Vegas. I want to fly the whole cast to Vegas. I'll put you up in the because all my stuff is comped, so I'll buy you guys a room at the Bellagio. It'd be a blast.
Wait, do we all have to share a room?
No.
Yeah, we
I'll
do.
get them
It's
a
just
room
like a
on-
water park. Yeah, we'll be
I'll
all
get you your own
standing in
room, Sam,
line
I
for the
promise.
shower.
Hold on, I get my own room. Daniel and Samantha can share a room. Like, you know,
Okay.
I want.
Twist my arm. Don't threaten me with a bad time. I'll be in there with whistling toothpicks. He's cute too.
Sounds fun, but if it's only going to happen if the Steelers win the Super Bowl next year, we'll never do it.
Nah, hey,
100% chance.
it's only
not
funny
gonna-
'cause it's true.
There is no more good quarterbacks left. I don't know. See who the Steelers are going to get last minute that is going to be. You know, even they're going to even they drafted one. First round. First year in the NFL. Traditionally, they don't do very well.
But we got the dude that was in went to school with Connor and Juju. So we got a chance. I mean, he's had 1 year to kind of figure it out. So even if we don't win this year, figure out just see you in 2024. You know what I mean? Like I'll keep making it happen.
I like the idea that
Juju does not play. He plays on the Kansas City Chiefs now.
Yeah,
But he was in the same. You know what I'm saying? That was in the same graduating class. Like I like to think that they produced success that year. They whipped him a little bit.
Joey likes fun, and you don't. So this will never work. Because he likes hanging,
you know what?
He likes
Yeah.
hanging his hat on a bet that's going to give him some positive excitement.
Yeah.
And you are looking more at like where you're just wasting your money. And he's not. He's looking at it like the adventure.
I know.
I'm telling you,
I've
I have
earned it.
money. What I don't have is a memory, a thing that I can pin. You're right. I like to hitch my wagon on that S.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
What
I like
parlay
it.
do we got?
What I got is at 3 p.m. today. I'm getting excited. I mean, right now, I played soccer in high school and college. I remember y'all are fans. I know Daniel's a big fan.
I am.
Yeah.
I like the 3 p.m. Arsenal game today. We got Arsenal at Crystal Palace. Now,
Yeah.
what I'm looking at here, first off, thank you. I'm going to swing by Toll Road when I get out of here and have a drink at the Tom and Dan watering hole. Thank you guys for letting me sit at the bar and post up.
Yeah, man.
And again, any of the BDMs, anybody listening, if you want to join me, super friendly guy, reach out, send me a DM, and I'll tell you what bar I'm at, and we'll come hang out and we'll touch tips. It'll be awesome.
Do it.
The math on this, though, is Arsenal is 6 for 7 on past games. So what we got here, that gives them an 85.7% return. I like that on the W side. However, with Crystal Palace, 4-2-1. That's only a 50% shot. Where we're going with the numbers here is if Arsenal is 5th, Crystal Palace is 12th. I can't say Arsenal has an axe to grind, but the truth is, if they want to make this, we almost have to go undefeated for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they want to be in top 4 for sure. And
Right.
and everybody's saying that they're riding a little bit of that, that's generally where we shake out. We've had a rough couple of seasons, but Mikel Arteta, people love Arteta as far as a
He's
coach
all
goes.
over, dude. He's all over Google today.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go,
People seem to really like him, and I've fallen off on following Arsenal. I've been more into City and, believe it or not, the Lightning. But yes, continue.
No, I almost wore my Juventus jersey today. I'm a big.
Oh,
I
nice.
was literally in high school. I was number 10 because of Del Piero. I'm a big fan.
That's crazy.
So what I'm hoping at here, as for the previous games, we're looking at it's almost 50% that Arsenal wins,
Yes.
only 23% that Crystal Palace pulls this out. So I think I'm going to throw some cash on Arsenal because they're plus 300, and I can't figure out why. And they're the home team. 55% of the games before the pandemic, if you were a home team, you won, which gives us what I always say, better than coin flip odds. If I get better than coin flip odds, I'll throw money on it, and at plus 300, that's sick. So you throw $500 on it, you turn that into a little something. It's worth your time. The problem is I can't find anything to parlay with it, and I'm pissed because the only parlay is over 2.5 goals. But of these previous games, only of the past 9 games amongst them, only 3 went over 2.5. And of the past 19 games, only 5 went 2.5. I think it's going to be either a tie or it's going to be a 1-0.
So why don't you parlay their win with the under 2.5?
No, over 2.5.
Oh, you want to go over?
They want to take over because it's another plus 185, and I just don't think it's worth it. I think I'm just going to go straight money line, plus 300, Arsenal to kick their ass.
And they're leaning towards the over 2.5. What is the over?
Over 2.5. I just don't know if I see 3 goals happening this game because you've got a decent offense versus a phenomenal defense.
Where's Crystal Palace on their 12th?
12th.
Are they in relegation spot?
Not really. I think they're just kind of killing time and selling beer ads.
If they're not in a relegation spot, then you're not going to get that burst of energy to try and save their ass.
The only way we get 3 points is if Arsenal takes it 3-0. That's the only way I see it happening. So I'm not going to parlay. I'm just going to be grateful for my plus 300.
All right.
And I'm going to pull from the movie 21.
Throwing a little soccer in there. I like that. We'll see how that shakes out. I don't understand how to bet soccer, and it scares the hell out of me. And the only time we do it is traditionally when a World Cup rolls out. And that's coming around. I mean,
I know.
That's going to be fun because that's why I'm trying to get back into my Bovada. I still need your help on that. I've been locked up for a year now.
Oh, I'll get you back. Okay. I've also signed up to like 3 other offshore books.
Help me, bro.
Oh, yeah, I got you. All right, Joey, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. If anybody wants to contact you, what's your email again?
As is tradition, I make it easy. Joey Mazzant. Joey is the easy one. Mazzant, that takes a little work. Mazzant at yahoo.com. Let me know when you're going to be hanging out. See me in the park, say hi. I'm a pretty friendly guy, and thank you so much.
No problem. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to a Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail.
All right, buddy. I believe it was the Friday Free Show. We had our BDM Stonemason call in, and he said that Sublime is an SE band that he hates.
Oh.
And he called in to clarify. I mean, again, when you're drinking beers and, you're going in hard, it's very easy. I try to work on this with Maisie about saying, I hate that. It's
like over-exaggerating.
Yeah, you don't hate that. You just may. So here.
Hey guys, this is Brian, the Stonemason from San Francisco. I shouldn't have said that Sublime just sucks. I was too drunk to elaborate on anything. But on the West Coast, mainly California and Western states, it's common on construction sites when you're working with Mexicans or Latinos to say Sancho when somebody sneezes. So you'll hear somebody sneezes and you go Sancho, Sancho, and so that's common because Sancho is banging your girl and it made you sneeze. And so the lyrics for Sublime are Papa Captain Sancho and I slap her down because she was cheating. So that's about it.
Okay,
Take care, guys.
I like what you were saying, and we knew all of that except for the part where you
sneezing
said
part is odd.
that the girl is cheating on me with Sancho, and that made me sneeze. Is that like when you you get a shiver and you're like, ooh, somebody's talking about me?
Or your ears feel hot and you're like, that means someone is talking about you?
Yeah, or like when my dad used to look up at the sky and it'd be raining and the sun was shining, he'd be like, oh, the devil's beating his wife. There are always little things to explain away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was her tears falling from heaven, although the devil would be in hell, right? Not in. I don't know.
Yeah, why is he up there?
I don't know why is he up there. But my dad would be like, "Oh, devil's beating it. Look up, devil's beating his wife." I think we've mentioned it before, but
so if you sneeze, that means
according to Reddit.
Oh yes.
Because somebody asked, is there some sort of slang term or possible joke? There's a guy in the kitchen that finds it hilarious when one guy sneezes and someone says Sancho. Sancho equals Jody in Mexican culture. When you sneeze, it means that Jody, or Sancho, is at your house doing dirty stuff to your girlfriend at that exact moment. 2 or 3 sneezes means she's pinned down and can't get out.
Oh my God, that's what that means? Oh my God, I had a 5-banger this morning. I need to help my wife. I can call my wife right now. Are you okay?
I have never heard of this.
Someone was holding down and sexually assaulting you. 5 sneezes, 6 sneezes, 7 sneezes. Oh, she's dead. 8 sneezes.
Like you sneeze once and you're like, hold on.
She's just peeking in the panties.
we gotta see.
Oh, 2 sneezes. He pulled the panties off. 3 sneezes. They are having coitus.
But it's all like holding you down. It's like 3 sneezes are rape.
Yeah,
the
4
hell?
sneezes is rape.
I've never heard that.
You ever
but
hold
Me
in a
either.
sneeze? When you hold in a sneeze, it's her using her pepper spray. That's what I heard. It's one spray.
I've heard of Sancho. I just didn't have any connections with
Man.
sneezing.
You are a overthinker, much like the person who sneezed and said, "Oh yeah, that's definitely somebody cheating on my wife." Really, you know what I mean? Like that is some crazy, insane,
You know,
like ritual type stuff, right?
we got to talk to someone who works construction to see, because I'm curious about
Currently
this, right?
working construction?
Yeah, currently working construction.
Not used to work construction because I think things have changed a little bit. I'd like to know it now.
Well, that's what I mean. As far as has like any like political correctness worked its way onto the construction site? Like my initial thought is no. Of course,
Like
it
how do they
hasn't.
build buildings in Silicon Valley where you think of these people being like,
well, it's not the
super-
nerds that are it's
No,
the
I
construction
understand that,
workers
but
there.
they're also going to be on like checking things out. And then what? They're going to have these rough around the edges construction workers making all kinds of
No.
Sancho jokes and
Well, the foreman
throwing Gatorade bottles filled with poop at them and stuff.
They don't talk to any of the workers. You talk to the foreman, and he like you know.
He's
what
the
I'm saying?
go-between
Yeah.
between normal people and construction people.
Yes, yeah. But I'm saying, like, you know, on a construction site, like, these guys, they don't give a damn about anything as far as, like, hurting someone's feelings or, like, saying whatever they want, you know, like, racist.
I'm surprised
Everything
they would
is
even
open.
say, like, bless you when you're sneezing on a construction site. Who cares?
Well,
right?
they're not saying bless you.
Right,
they're
they're
saying
saying
a dude is
dude
banging
yeah.
your wife. Yeah, there's no niceties.
No.
They don't. These type of guys, they don't like that. They don't want that. They want to bust each other's balls and say the worst possible things and make each other laugh. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if there's anybody that has noticed, like,
Sancho, what's that mean? Someone's banging my wife. I'm out of here. This is not. I didn't sign up for this.
or like has tried to like dissuade certain talk on a construction site. I'm just curious if anything has been done, someone has said like, "Hey, you can't say that anymore, buddy."
We have a listener in our Twitch chat room, and we're live on Twitch Monday through Friday. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live if you want to catch that live. Bashley79 in our Twitch chat room says, my boyfriend is a foreman and they really do not care about hurting feelings. Can we talk to your boyfriend? It would be fun to
what's that?
talk to him and just pick his brain about the realities of working on a true active construction site.
Yeah. I like that, and the fact that they're just hardened to the point of nothing hurts their feelings.
Well, they're not
nothing-
there for feelings. They're there to put the building up.
Yeah, nothing's emotional. Everything's busting each other's balls, and then the horrible
Yeah.
jokes and everything. Like, you know,
It's hard-ass work.
Yeah, and
Dangerous
the type of
hard-ass
guys
work.
which by the way, that creates a divide for sure when people do that type of work, and then someone else says like, "Hey, this, you know, your life is completely different than another person's life, and your experiences are different."
Yeah.
And people have to realize that. Like,
Yeah.
they have to get in their mind, like, everybody lives different lives. So before I start
Coming from
fighting,
you, that's ironic.
It is.
I know.
But I like it.
but I see the fights, and then I see people fighting back and forth, and then it's like, yeah, you work at home on your computer, and this person goes to a construction site every single day and hears the worst possible things
Right.
every day, and then no wonder you guys are arguing on the internet because you're living two
Can't
different
relate,
lives.
yeah.
You can't relate to each other, and of course the one guy thinks you're weak, and this guy thinks you're like a racist idiot. But your lives are different. Like, just realize who you're talking to on the internet. That you live completely different lives. But no one will do that. Everybody's just fighting each other because that's easier.
Yeah,
Easier
it
to
is.
fight.
It is easier. From our Twitch chat room again, we're getting a lot of Puerto Rican influence from, for whatever reason, people are telling us what their grandmas used to say. And we got one Puerto Rican grandma that says when it's raining and the sun is shining that witches are getting married. I like that one.
Okay.
I do like that one.
I like witches getting married almost better than devil beating his wife. You know, like Puerto Rican grandma said that. Also, another Puerto Rican grandma said, this is from Christine. I like this one too. She said her Puerto Rican grandma said that only prostitutes colored their hair. I like that. I like Puerto Rican grandma logic. I like it.
Do you guys do anything superstitious just because you've always done it? Like, for instance, my wife is
I think you
superstitious.
ruined that for me. I think I was superstitious, but you made fun of me so much that now nothing matters and I just don't care.
I like that.
I think you've changed me.
But like every time we've been driving for as long as I can remember,
Legs up on a bridge?
No, well, similar to that. If she sees a car with one headlight out, she has to tap the roof.
Oh, I thought when she sees black people, she locks the doors. Yeah, I've seen her do the black people lock the doors thing.
But she taps the roof, and she does it almost like it's involuntary, where she doesn't even realize she's doing it. But and I'm just like, every time she does it, I think to myself, I'm like,
Well, what's the thought behind that?
it's just something she's always done. It's like a good luck thing. It's like knocking on wood or something. That she learned it from maybe her dad or something did it, and then she just adopted it, and she's always done it.
Like when I
have
pull,
nothing of that.
When I pull people over, like if I pull a car over,
With your,
when I get with my
your
fake light that I ordered
yeah.
from a military supply store,
Yeah.
I get out of my car and then I touch the back of my vehicle, so if anything goes down, they have a record of my fingerprints on the vehicle. It's what I learned from all other law enforcement. Back to blue.
Okay, I guess it's a game, kind of like Punch Buggy back in the day, and it's called Padiddle.
Your wife likes to padiddle the
She
car.
likes to padiddle. It says passengers who point out such cars on the road hitting the ceiling of their own car and shouting padiddle earn points, with the amount varying based on the type of vehicle, location, or amount of burnt
Yeah,
lights.
but she didn't yell padiddle, so
Yeah,
she
no,
doesn't get the point.
Well,
I've never heard of any of this.
It's not
I've
a-
never heard of padiddle. I never heard of anyone touching the roof of their car for a headlight out.
it's not even a game, because I understand Punch Buggy. Like, that makes sense to me. All right, you're playing a game, and then therefore that's the purpose of this. This is just
This is
for
as
some
if your wife is.
superstitious.
This is like
thing.
your wife's going to make a pool shot at trick shots, and she does the Mother Mary.
Yeah.
She does the Hail Mary. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. And
It's like she's going over the thing, and she's like tapping it as if to like witness to a ghost or an entity in the sky. I'm showing you respect.
just some like, if she doesn't do that somehow, then she's cursed with
Has
some
she
bad
said?
luck.
Has she said that she gives thought to what would happen if she didn't do it? Does it go that far?
I ventured into this conversation one time and never again.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because
Sounds like you have limited. Can
Yeah,
we talk to
and-
your wife about this? Because I would like to know. I'm being serious here. I'm not at all trying to be funny. My thought would be.
You got her number. Call her if she ain't doing nothing.
My thought would be, what
Do you want me to call her?
What do you
'cause
think
I'm
is
gonna
going to be?
yell at her about this.
Like, what would be the downfall of it? You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand that she's doing it. That's all good and fine. Touching the roof, you're going over the thing, you touch the roof, that's your little, you're doing a ritual, right?
Yeah.
My point is, if you
What's
were
the consequence?
If you were talking to your husband, you're talking to Tom, you're going over the thing, you forget, you don't tap the roof, what happens?
I've asked her this before, I think, and it just went down a long and
Dusty road. Long dusty road.
A conversation that ended with her mad and me mad that I even started it, because I knew it was going to end with nothing. Well, because I knew I'm searching for an answer that is no answer. And I knew that it's on me for even asking, because
She's on to us. She forwarded my call.
Well, that's because she's busy tapping the roof of her car. He's like, call her again. She's good now. She's just on the bridge. She's trying to tap, tap, tap.
Yeah. And again, I want to have some sort of fantasy in my life, or it's like I believe there's other power, or this is something I did was actually going to make a difference, like this, but I have nothing of that, and I'm dumbfounded that people do. Like, I was like, are you, like, if you didn't do this, what, like, I know it's nothing. She just taps the roof of her car, and that's her argument. It's like, who
isn't
cares?
nothing.
I'm driving.
No,
I'm just
it's
tapping.
proof to me that you believe in ghosts. That's what it is.
It's
It's literally,
lessons.
if you continue
It's
to
hurting
do
your
it,
career.
yeah, if you continue to do it, all you're doing is proving to me that
You're
you're
a
an
crazy
insane
person.
person.
I know. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sort
why I
of. You
get in
have
trouble.
conditioned me. I think you have conditioned me to believe that. See, my wife is logical, right? She doesn't do any of that. But I'm playing the role of like your wife, and you have blown that out of me. You have conditioned me by working here. You've bullied me to a point where I used to come in here. I'm tapping everything. I'm jumping over to this. I'm doing this hop. I'm crossing this. Doing this Hail Mary. I do this 5 times. Got to touch this door handle 25 times. And then you have made fun of me and belittled me to the point where you have
I'm helping you.
Why? I will say you have, because now I don't do any of that. I used to go over railroad tracks. I'd lift my legs up. I don't do any of that. Now I deliberately push them down. I'm like, come get me, devil.
Because to me, it's you're hindering yourself. Like, you should get over this, because what you're going through it's a waste of time.
You can
in
only
my
make
mind.
so many decisions throughout the day, and one of those decisions is for you to actively touch your roof for a ghost. And that's a waste of time.
There was this guy that we used to work with at the radio station, and he'd do like he.
Well, he had a mental problem.
Well,
Was it an OCD thing?
yes, and that was. I mean, this is the Venn diagram of that, where like he'd get out of his car and he'd have to check his door handle to make sure it's locked 14 times, like, tick, 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 and then he'd walk in. He'd like I think he couldn't touch the front door of the building.
No, he could not ride the elevator alone.
Yeah, he couldn't ride the elevator alone. Like all these superstitious things that he had, or OCD, or whatever it was. And then I think he checked his door locks multiple times.
He's
and, like,
talking about
he
me.
got the same thing for lunch every single day, and like he was just locked
Wait, you do that.
into this prison of like these OCDs.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's a little bit much.
yeah, I'm like, if someone could help you get over this, but he was perfectly content with living that way. But to me,
Well,
I'm
he's
just
also
like,
lonely. Nobody was around.
Oh,
You're saying that he was completely content. I looked
don't
into
know.
that man's eyes and saw that he had not touched a woman in years. He had that is loneliness, is what you saw. He probably died alone. Seriously,
But that's
it was
what he
not.
wanted.
It was not. No. He did not want that.
'Cause
That's what he was trapped in a prison, dude. Like I'm
I
telling
bet-
you.
Yeah, I'm sure mentally.
I'm telling you. I'm not even being funny, Dan. At
he just
all
did
right
it because
now.
he felt like he had to do it.
Yeah, because
kinda
it was
thing,
comfortable to him because it's all he knew.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's where we're having a serious
Yeah,
conversation.
let's dial down into it,
Well,
man.
because I look at like some people's behaviors and things, and like I'm like, whoa, they're doing a lot of irrational things.
Me, you just.
But
I
do
say
it.
that about you too.
yeah, no, I know, and the thing is, they can't. That's who they are, right? So because I look at myself too, because I look at myself first all the time. I'm like, I'm doing all these irrational.
Yeah,
dumb
we know.
things.
Every time you're
And
serving plates, you serve yourself first.
You know, but I can't change it, and I kind of want to, and I want to work on myself. But at the end of the day, too, there is like you got to live your life and be happy. If you're constantly trying to change who you are, then
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
there are ways to better yourself.
Yeah.
there are ways to better yourself, and I think everybody should better
It's
yourself.
difficult, though.
But
It-
Oh yeah, it's going to take a
difficult.
lot of work
but
Yeah.
it's like
to unlearn bad things.
At the end of the day, if you're knocking on some wood 15 times or checking your door locks, and then that like makes you happy, and by not doing that, it gives you an anxiety, or like you're constantly thinking about it or whatever. And I know part of changing yourself is like pushing through that hard
Right.
parts, but also, hey, you're not really hurting. It's like, not hurting anybody. It's making you happy. You do what you want, So like, I go
There's
back
a
and
balance
forth.
there, yeah.
So it's like, how much is it hindering your life? I guess
Right.
that it's like with alcohol, just find that.
Yeah.
It's like
How bad is my hangover?
I can get to work.
I can power through this day.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the way
my
we're
kids-
supposed to feel. Life's too good with modern.
Need a little bit of bad.
Yeah,
I
you
think
need
I just-
some bad.
yeah.
I'm just artificially making the bad.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do one more.
Yeah, we got time for one more.
Voicemail.
This one's kind of interesting because I very much do enjoy these type of games.
Hey, BDM Chris here. Just want to know what your guys' take is on Call of Duty. And Daniel, I know you're a gamer,
Yep.
but I never really hear you talk about, shooters. It's always, Microsoft Flight Simulator or Animal Crossing or what have you. So, just what are the views on Call of Duty? You guys might have talked about it. I'm pretty new BDM, for 6 months or something like
Welcome,
that.
and we're glad to have you. And I very much do enjoy Call of Duty. Haven't had time for the new one, but that's just work schedule. Normally, when I settle in to really game are right around the month of September. I'll start gathering games because knowing that, Christmas, vacation, normally there's more time around the homestead during that. And that's traditionally when I start really applying myself to video gaming. But I very much do enjoy Call of Duty. There aren't many games I don't enjoy. I'm not a big Fortnite player. I'm not a big Call of Duty player, but I do enjoy them. I just don't play them very much.
With Call of Duty, do they have themes for the enemy? Like, do they like? I know certain Call of Duty.
I don't know. I believe
like
they do,
World War
though.
II, and like
Yes.
they'll make the enemy look like Nazis, but not necessarily. They won't put like the swastikas on there, but they'll
Right.
they'll brand the enemy so it's like
As the Axis.
yeah, it's like
or,
okay,
the
these
Allies.
are
Sure.
to represent Nazis, and then if they're like a different time frame, they'll brand the enemy to look more like.
Or if it's modern, they'll make it into a new
Like a
fictional thing that
yeah.
they made. Like, oh, you're like some of them, like you're contracted.
This is ISIS or whatever.
Is
Like, this
Call
is
of
Middle
Duty
East.
Vanguard the latest one?
I think so, yeah.
2021?
Yeah, I
That
believe
is
so.
World War II.
Yeah, so it's good. I enjoy all of those games. But sometimes and this is just me. Sometimes the graphic games, and I'm not a pussy when it comes to this sort of stuff. But like sometimes I find myself getting it's like heavy when you're killing things all day. You know what I mean? Like you can only headshot so many things before. I really enjoy like a nice puzzle game. Maybe Monopoly, Animal Crossing is fun to just kind of realign your head a
You
little
ever
bit.
play online in some of these war games? Because my husband's been doing that on our Twitch channel.
People are just very aggressive, and I stay away from that.
But some of them, they're audibly cosplaying as if they're really
yes, yeah, they take it very seriously.
lieutenants, and it's funny. To me, it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny because they're so serious.
They are. They're very serious.
And when people are dead serious, it can go one of two ways. If everybody in the room is dead serious, then game on. If there's one person who's a jokester,
taking it over the top,
like a me or you, and then you got like guy there's pretending to be in the British Navy, and he's like, "I'm flanking to your left, sir. Glad to be on board." And you're like, "Oh God, we got one of these guys.
Yeah.
He's LARPing. He's LARPing.
Yeah.
He's LARPing in the game."
You know what's funny is that I don't know if we have time for this real quick, but when I was a teen, I played paintball a lot, and then my stepdad took us up, me and my friend Eric.
You
who
guys
played
are
paintball with
Confederate
me.
soldiers.
No, we went up and then played this one. I forgot it was this. I've told the story before.
Oh,
but
it's the
in
24-hour
Ocala. Yeah, the
tournament.
20
Yes, I remember this story.
And then he basically went up on my mom's conversion van and like drank beer, and while we played paintball. But there were a couple fat dads there that took it super seriously.
They got the map.
And then
They're drawing things on there.
And
you're burning the plan so people can see later.
And wanted to like everybody else to take it as seriously
Yeah.
as they were.
Yeah.
But
Kind of like me with the show. I get so mad at you guys for not taking it seriously. I'm like, come on.
But the problem is he's a 42-year-old fat dad,
Yeah.
and the rest of everybody else there are all teen boys.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
you got
They're
100
They just want to
Leroy-
shoot their friends. Yeah.
You've got 1,000 Leroy Jenkins and
Yeah.
one fat dad that wants like, we're going to flank them, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come up from the top,
So-
and then we're going to displace their resources here.
So you put like he'd be the head of the platoon, and then it'd be him, and then 15 other 13 to 17-year-old,
Which is about right? You have the general and a bunch of
Young
frontline
kids, yeah.
dodos that are just running for the beach.
and then he would give a speech at the beginning. He's like, "All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're
All right,
gonna go around-"
boys.
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna go.
why you've been called here.
We're gonna go around and flank this thing. We're gonna all keep quiet, and we're gonna go. You guys go this
I like
way.
the
you guys
only tactic term Tom and I know is flank. We're
Yeah.
like, that sounds good.
And then he'd tell us all that. We all just be sitting there looking at him. He's like, "All right, in 3, 2, 1, go!" And then everybody would just run off in different directions, shooting up into the
Guerrilla warfare. Yeah.
because
Shooting from the trees.
And he'd be like, "No,
from
you
above."
don't come back!" It was Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
We were just like, "Get out of here, fatso!" and then we immediately.
Brigade 5, where are you? Come in. They're gone. We've lost communication.
And then, but I still look at that guy, and I'm like, that guy have way more fun than I'll ever have because he's taking his fantasy serious, and that's what he likes.
And he's all dressed up, right?
Oh yeah, he's got a ghillie suit on.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's 82 degrees. Anyway, all right. Bye bye.